Okay, class. So, let's continue discussing yung remaining subtopics for inventories. Okay? So, dito, nakikita mo, cost of inventories shall be determined by using, so in terms of getting the inventory balance at the end of the accounting period, no, may mga different methods tayong ginagamit to determine that. Not only the inventory balance, pati yung cost of goods sold. So, nade-determine din natin yon using different method. And as illustrated or as listed down, ito yung mga yon. First in, first out method or FIFO method, weighted average, then yung specific identification method. Pag first in, first out method, so kung ano yung unang nabili, okay, yun ang unang mabebenta. Okay? So, kung iisipin mo, ano yung mga amount ng inventory or cost ng inventory na magpo-form part as the ending balance niyan sa end of accounting period. Okay, kung first in, first out ang method. So, sabi natin, ulitin natin, first in, first out, kung ano yung unang nabili, no, from the supplier, yun ang unang dapat mabenta papunta kay customer. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga nahuling na purchase, malamang hindi pa yun nabebenta at malamang yun ang magpo-form part ng cost ng ending inventory. Okay? So, tandaan, yung mga latest purchase, yun ang magpo-form part ng cost ng ending inventory. Now, sa kabaliktaran, if you need to determine the cost of goods sold, okay, the amount of that would be based doon sa earlier purchases. Kasi nga, since earlier purchases yun ang malamang na unang nabenta. And therefore, cost of goods sold yun. Okay, part na yun ng cost of goods sold. Okay, so klaro tayo doon. Next, pag weighted average method naman, okay, so from the word itself, no, ina-average mo, okay, yung cost ng inventory. So, the manner of getting that is the beginning inventory plus all the purchases during the period. Okay? So, total amount of that, no? Pag plus mo, whatever is the amount, then i-divide mo lang sa units. Okay? Sa units. So, ang units nun, so in pattern lang din. So, kung may beginning inventory amount ka, dapat may beginning inventory units ka. Okay? Kung meron ka mga purchases during the period, the amount of that, okay, dapat as a line, meron ka ding mga number of units na na-purchase during the accounting period. So, total the units, total the amount, okay, then amount divide mo sa total units, yun na yun. That's how you get the average. Okay? So, we are pertaining only sa beginning and beginning inventory and purchase during the period when we talk about average. Pero take note class, iba magiging approach niyan kung iba yung accounting ng inventory method. Okay, kasi if you remember, dun sa FAR 1 ninyo, meron tinatawag na periodic and perpetual. Okay, pagdating sa weighted average method, kung iba yung ginagamit, kung periodic, kung perpetual, iba yung way of getting the weighted average cost. Okay, so mamaya ma-apply natin yan. Pero pag FIFO method, regardless no, kung periodic or perpetual method ang accounting sa inventory, parehas lang yan. The way we compute the amount of ending inventory and the amount of cost of goods sold. Paparehas pa rin yan. Okay, so weighted average lang magkakaiba. Now, yung susunod, the cost of inventories that are not ordinarily interchangeable and inventories that are segregated for specific projects shall be determined by using a specific identification method. So, pwedeng gamitin to in determining the cost of inventories on hand and at the same time the cost of goods sold. Okay? Pag sinabi mo kasing specific identification method, so identify siya. Okay? Identify siya na ito yung natira, okay, na inventory, at identify siya na ito yung nabenta ng mga inventory. Okay? Pero take note, to be practical, no, in actual practice, yan ay nagagamit kung ang inventory mo ay yung tipong hindi marami. Yung mga typical na high value item. Yan. And at the same time, ang ginagawa mo diyan is customize. Okay? So, pag sinabi natin customize, iba yung inventory na ibebenta mo sa kada customer mo kasi kino-customize mo nga, eh. Okay? So, specific. Okay? Kumbaga yung products na binebenta mo hindi homogeneous. Okay? Hindi may kaparehas sa iba. Okay? Una sa lahat, normally, kaya mo siyang i-segregate. So, I'm talking about mga inventory na high value items, sabihin na natin, kasi normally, ah, madali mo yang i-segregate, eh. And at the same time, yung flow ng transaction medyo madalang lang. Okay? Kasi nga mahal yung item. And pangalawa, yan ay normally ginagamit nga kapag ang inventory mo is customized. Naka-specific na ganito ang design, ganito ang mga features, okay, para sa ganitong customer. And ganito rin ang features and design, iba ulit pag ganito naman ang customer. Okay, so uh, ang proper or should I say, ang pwedeng gamitin kung in case ganun ang scenario ng business, no, in terms of determining the amount of inventory is a specific identification method. Kung magiging practical na gamitin yun, then so be it. Okay, pero ang normal, no, sa practice na ginagamit, yung madalas rather, okay, FIFO method and weighted average. Pero ako based on experience class, ito ang madalas na ginagamit, weighted average. Ang FIFO kasi medyo um, mahirap siya 100% masunod. Realistically, mahirap siyang masunod 100%. Okay? Kaya parang may gray area pa rin yan. If the company in actual is using FIFO, may gray area yan, eh. Okay, that's why yun nga, ulitin natin. Usually sa practice, weighted average method ang ginagamit. Pareha sila, no? Pero mas maraming gumagamit ng weighted average. Okay? Then, specific identification method, medyo rare lang yung gumagamit niya. Okay? So anyway, let's have illustration. For illustration purposes, ang papakita lang natin yung sa FIFO and weighted average. Okay. Systems of accounting for inventories. O, ito. Na ano na natin to, di ba? Periodic and perpetual, which is discussed also, I believe, dun sa FAR 1 nyo. Okay, pag periodic, okay, normally para yan sa mga small items, small value items, na kung saan maramihan ng inventory. Perpetual, okay, high value items na konti lang. Okay, normally, mga madaling mabilang. Periodic, so wala kang ano yan, recording in terms of direkta dun sa merchandise inventory account. Okay, kasi gumagamit ka ng ibang account dyan. Purchase, freight in, di ba? Purchase discount. Pag perpetual, direkta na nire-record sa merchandise inventory account. So in terms of monitoring, monitored mo agad, real time. Okay? Monitored mo agad yung inventory. Okay, kasi direkta nakapasok sa merchandise inventory account. Any movement na related sa inventory, doon na i-record. Unlike sa periodic, no? From the time na nagkaroon ng purchase, nagkaroon ng solian, hindi mo pa nalalaman kung as of the moment ilan ang inventory. Kaya nga sinabi siyang periodic. Okay, kasi or physical kasi pag nagkaroon ng physical count, no, na normally ginagawa at the end of accounting period, doon mo lang nalalaman kung ilang yung inventory natira. Okay? So, may adjustment ka dyan. Pero sa perpetual, since may monitoring, okay, ongoing, kaya mong ma-determine, no, at any moment ilan ang inventory natira, ilan ang inventory na benta. Kasi yun yung system ng accounting pagdating sa inventory. Okay? So, we will not elaborate it. So, diretso tayo dito sa costing method pag-usapang inventory. So again, FIFO and average, no, ang papakita natin. Okay. ABC Corporation, a wholesaler, has the following information for the month of August. So here's the data. Okay. So obviously, if you notice, may beginning, balance, no, unit, and the amount. Okay. Then may mga purchases during the month. Okay. Tapos may mga sales din during the month. Okay. So first, ang gagawin natin, i-determine natin, okay, magkano yung inventory at the end of the accounting period. Okay, and the cost of goods sold using FIFO method. Okay? Tandaan, FIFO method, weighted average method, specific identification method, mga cost formulas yan in getting the ending balance of inventory and at the same time, the cost of goods sold. Okay? So, pakita natin. Una, FIFO method. Ulitin na sir ha, pag FIFO method, regardless kung periodic or perpetual, paparehas ang amount ng ending inventory balance and the cost of goods sold. Okay? Sa average lang magkakaiba. Mamaya papakita natin 'yan. Okay? So FIFO muna. So requirement, determine the inventory end, no? The amount of the inventory end and the cost of goods sold. So punta tayo sa Excel. Okay? So nakikita ba yan, class? I hope so, no? Hindi niyo naman ako masasagot dahil recording to. Tama? Okay. So, anyway. So, meron tayong units, beginning balance, no? 2,000. Okay. Then, 3,000, 4,200, nagkabentahan, tas may binalik. Then, may purchase, tas nagbenta ulit. May purchase ulit, tas may binalik. Okay, sa supplier. Kasi, for some reason, baka may problema. Now, tandaan mo, FIFO method ang ginagamit natin, no? So, wag muna tayo dito. Analysis muna tayo, no? FIFO method ang ginagamit natin. Ulitin natin. Pag FIFO method, kung ano ang unang nabili, dapat yan ang unang nabenta. Okay? So, meaning to say, uh, ang, ang most recent na purchase, yun yung malamang na naging part ng inventory ending. And therefore, dapat yung cost nun, yun yung maging part ng cost ng ending inventory. Okay? So, ang technique dito, pag FIFO method, check mo muna kung ilang units ang natira. Okay, so matter of ano tayo dito, no? Determining muna yung units at the end of the August or at the end of the accounting period. So, dito tayo ha. Huwag nyo muna pansinin to. Okay, magagamit natin yan maya-maya konti. Okay, pero dito muna tayo. So, sige, dito tayo para hindi nakakalito. So, tayo ay nasa FIFO method. Okay? Regardless to class, parehas lang yan. Regardless kung periodic or perpetual. Okay. So, first, we need to determine ano daw yung ending inventory as to units. So, August 1. Ano mga date niya? Huwag na natin lagyan ng date. Diretsuhin na natin. Ha? Kala. Yan. So, una, kailangan determine natin yung ending inventory units. Okay? So, pakita lang natin dito. So, we have 2,000. Tama ba? Tama ba yun? 2,000. Okay. Purchase, 3,000. Purchase, 3,000. So, dagdag yan. Sales, 4,200. So, bawas yan. Tama ba? Units pa lang itong kinukuha natin. Ha? Sales return. So, nagbenta ka, das binalik sa'yo ni customer. So, balik inventory yan. So, plus mo yan. Purchase, 4,800. Okay, so, dagdag yan. Next, 3,800. Benta, nung August 22. Bawas yan. Pakita lang natin. Then, purchase again. So, dagdag, 1,900. Tama? ano pa? Purchase return. So, nagbalik tayo from to the supplier. Okay, so bawas yan. Okay. So, in terms of units, lalabas at the end of August, itong balance natin. Okay. Yan, tama ba? 4,100 units. Okay. 2 plus 3 minus 4, 2. Plus 600 kasi binalik sa atin yung binenta. Then, plus purchase, 48 minus 38 na benta. Okay. Then, purchase again, 19. So, dagdag. Purchase return, binalik kay supplier. So, bawas. So, tama. 4,100 units. Okay. Now, sabi natin, pag FIFO, yung most recent ang magiging part ng ending inventory. Okay. So, punta tayo dun sa recent no, ng mga purchase. Okay. Saan ba dito ang recent na purchase? O, ito. Nung August 29. So, kasama na yan. Panigurado. Out of the 4,100, yung purchase nung August 29, kasama na yan dito sa 4,100. Okay? Kasi ito yung recent eh. Tama po ba? Pero take note, itong purchase nung August 29 na 1,900, may binalik tayo na 200. So, lumalabas, ang nag-form part lang dito sa 4,100 is 1,700 units in relation dun sa purchase ng August 29. 1,700 units lang. Neto lang kasi may binalik eh. Paano nasabi ni sir na yan ay connected dun sa 1,900? Itong return ng 30? Here. Okay? Sa unit cost. Obviously, parehas sila ng unit cost. So, malamang, the return on, purchase return on August 30 referred to purchase on August 29. Okay? So, that's why we will consider the effect of the return. So, 1.7 yan. So, tinan mo So, alam natin na ito ay sigurado na tayo sa August 29. Part yan ng purchase natin which is 1.7 neto. Okay? Now, ilan na lang ang natitirang units no, na kailangan nating hagilapin kung saan nanggaling. Okay? So, 2,400. Okay? Now, okay, check. Ano pa yung susunod? The next most recent purchase. Okay? After 29. Siyempre, eto na yun, August 21. Okay? Na kung saan, ilang units ang na-purchase? 4,800. Okay? So, kaya ba niyang sakupin yung 2,400? Yes. Kasi nga, ang na-purchase, 4,800 eh. Okay? So, sold na yung 2,400 dito sa purchase ng August 21. And therefore, lahat tong natitira na 2,400 na hindi pa natin na-identify as of the moment, pero yun nga, kakasabi lang natin, actually na-identify na natin in effect, no? Na yan ay August 21 purchase. Okay? Tama po ba? Okay? So, again, meron na tayong hint kung saan natin kukunin yung mga unit cost. Okay? Related dito sa number of units na natira at the end of August. Okay? So, yung 1.7, kukunin natin yan, no? Ang unit cost niyan, manggagaling syempre dito sa 38.6. Then yung 2.4, since exhausted na tong lahat kasi na purchase na to, susunod na tayo sa most recent purchase. So, ang kukunin natin na cost, no, para dito sa 2,400 na natitira to make it 4,100, 38. Okay, so dito tayo. So, ending inventory balance would be, so, August 21, then August 29, sabi natin, 2,400 related dun sa purchase ng August 21. Okay. Then August 29, that would be 1,700 only. Okay, kasi neto ang kinuha natin. Okay. So, the sum would be, yan, 4,100. Tama tayo dyan. Pero hindi naman yan ang concern, di ba? Hindi yan ang concern. Ang concern, magkano ang amount ng ending inventory. So, irrespectively, times lang natin sa respective unit cost niya. Again, August 21, ang unit cost ng mga inventory at the time na pinurchase yan, 38. So, 38 tayo dito. Tama po. So, 2,400 times 38, that would be 91,200. Then, yung purchase na 1,700, tanda na, ninet natin yung return na. Ang unit cost, kada isa, 38.6. So, 38.6. Okay? 1,700 times 38.6, 65,620. So, the total amount of the ending inventory balance, okay, for the month of August is 156,820. So, this is the first requirement and the answer, the correct answer. 156,820. Okay? 156,820. Okay po. So, yan ang ending inventory natin, ha. Now, next, sir, paano natin malalaman naman yung cost of goods sold? Okay? So, ending, pakita lang natin, ending inventory. Okay? O, paano naman yung cost of goods sold? O, di gamitan na lang natin ng formula. Tama ba? Sa merchandising, ano nga ulit ang formula niyan? No? Getting the cost of goods sold. So, syempre, hindi nyo ulit ako masasagot dahil recording to. So, pakita lang na natin. Okay? Sorry. Excuse me. Okay. Beginning inventory. Diba? Tapos, purchases. Diba? So, ano pa? Ang tawag natin dito, total goods available. Diba? For sale. Okay? Tama po ba? O, para shortcut na lang. Tawag nga dyan, tigas. Okay? Tama? Okay. Next, bawas tayo ng ending inventory. O, para makuha mo yung cost of goods sold or COGS kung tawagin. Tama po ba? So, yan. Okay? Okay, so, anyway, paano natin makukuha yung beginning inventory? Eh, di dapat computein natin. Okay? So, dito, obviously, ito yung beginning. So, 2,000 times 36. O, wala ka ng problema. Pinakita na niya yung total. So, that would be 72,000. Okay? So, beginning inventory, 72,000. Okay? So, in purchase, this should be net, syempre. Okay? Next, purchase. So, ayan. Halos binigay na rin yung total amount. Okay? 111,600. Okay? Then, another purchase. That is August 7. Another purchase, August 21. 182,400. Then, another purchase, 29, no? Noong August 29, 73,340. Pero wag mong kalimutan, may purchase return yan. So, ibawas mo din yon, which is equals daw sa 7,720. So, add, minus mo para makuha mo yung net purchase. So, pakita na lang natin. 11600, 182,400. So, 11600. Tama ba? Yari. 111,600 plus 182,400. Tama po ba yun? 182,400. 73340. 73340 minus 7720. Tama? Okay, check. 11600, 111,600, 182,400, 73340, then minus 7720. So, net purchase natin, 359,620. The sum of the two, beginning inventory and net purchase, yung tawag natin doon, okay? Total goods available for sale or TIGAS. Okay? Ayan. Yun. Okay? So, ending inventory natin. So, nakuha na natin, which is 156,820. O, cost of goods sold. Apply the formula, 431 minus 156, no? Okay, tama ba? Kasi bawas yan. O, di 274,800. Okay? The cost of goods sold under FIFO method at the end of or for the month of August is 274,800. That is the cost of goods sold. Okay? So yun na yun. Again class, regardless kung periodic or perpetual, the manner of analyzing and getting this amount, no, ending inventory and cost of goods sold, pares lang yan. Okay? So I hope klaro yan, ha? Klaro tayo dyan? Sige. Next. Ang susunod na gagawin natin, average method. Okay? Average method. Pero, sige, para mas malinaw mamaya sa inyo yung FIFO method, may isa pa tayong round ng illustration. Papakita lang din natin. Pero, tuloy-tuloy na natin yung discussion. So, diretso tayo sa average method muna, ha? Now, ulitin natin. Sabi natin, pag average method, okay, iba ang usapan in getting the ending inventory kapag, okay, periodic and kapag perpetual. Periodic. Average tayo, no? Average. Iba ang way ng computation. So, ito ay perpetual. Mamaya, daanan natin yan, ha? So, pag average method, okay, that simply add the beginning inventory again and purchase during the month or during the accounting period. Okay, total the amount, total the units, then total amount, divide mo sa total units, yun na yun. That's the weighted average cost. And whatever is the remaining number of units at the end of the accounting period, times mo lang dun sa weighted average unit cost. So, kapag usapang average method, no, we average the unit cost of the inventory. Iba nga lang ang approach pag periodic at perpetual. Yung alam natin na way of getting the average unit cost, no, yung typical, applicable yon sa periodic. So, paano yon? So, again, meron tayong mga beginning inventory, okay, which is, lagay na natin, 2,000 units. Tama po ba? Okay. Ang amount down niyan, tanggalin lang natin to, ha, para hindi kayo malito. Yan. Ang amount down niyan, so 2,000 times 36, given naman na 72,000. Okay. Then, lahat ng purchase. So, purchase during the accounting period. Okay, so sulat natin 3,000. Tapos, saan na yun? 4,800. Baba nga natin to. Yan. This is beginning. Okay. So, ano pa? 3,000, 4,000. The 1,900. Oops. Okay, tama yun, no? Pero wag mong kalimutan, dapat neto yan. Pakita na lang natin yung bawas. So, minus 200. Okay? So, respective yan, no? Respectively yan. Okay? The amount, so, di mo na kailangan i-times pa, no? Dahil binigay na ng problem. Pero pag kung sakaling hindi niya, ang binigay lang niya, units and unit cost, you have to determine the total amount. So, copy na lang natin, 11,600 to. Tama po ba? Yung 48, 182,400, 182,400. 1,900 equivalent amount yan. Total 73340. 73340. Tama ba yan? Let's try, no? 1938,600. 1938.6 rather. O, tama naman. Okay? Tapos, bawas din na 200. So, bawas to 200. Yun. So, 7,720. Okay? So, again, total mo the units, total mo yung total amount. Okay? So, 11,500 ang total goods available for sale. No? If you will notice, beginning plus purchase. O, ang lalabas dyan goods available for sale. In terms of units, ito yun, 11,500. In terms of amount, 431,620. Now, to get the weighted average unit cost, weighted average unit cost, the total amount, dinivide mo lang sa total goods available for sale in units. Okay, in units. Ito rin, tawag din natin dito, total goods available for sale. In peso naman. Okay, di ba? Parang ganun lang din naman yun. Okay? Okay? So, lagyan nga natin ng equal. Yan. Okay? So, paano natin kukunin yun? So, we simply apply the formula. No? 431, 620, the amount, divided by the units. So, tama ba yan? 38, sarado. Ayun, butal. 37.5322. So, let's, teka, gawin natin 4 decimal point. No? Pero let's see. Okay. So, pag ni-round off, tama. 5322. 0.5322. So, yun ang kukunin natin. No? Pero since Excel naman to class, pwede nating i-multiply niya ng as is. Pero again, in terms of problem, syempre magko-compute ka dyan. Hindi mo naman pwedeng kunin lahat ng decimal point dito, no? Okay? Better na kumuha ka na lang ng certain decimal point. Okay? Yan. Pero to gagawin natin since naka-Excel to, as is lang natin yung multiplication, huh? Pero again, pag problem-based na, pag may mga quiz tayo, kung sakaling in-indicate naman kung ilang decimal point ang kukunin mo, then so be it. Hanggang dun yung cutoff mo. Okay? Then, saka mo check kung nandun sa choices. Okay? So, yan. Now, we have the weighted average unit cost. Ang requirement, what is the ending inventory under that method? Di ba? And the cost of goods sold. Okay? Okay? Pero bago yan, syempre ending inventory muna tayo. So, simply, you multiply, di ba? Whatever is the remaining units at the end of the accounting period doon sa weighted average unit cost na na-compute natin. Di ba kanina as computed, 4,100 ang natitira. Tama po ba? Tama? Ang ginawa natin kanina, yan, plus, minus, plus, minus, di ba? So, we have 4,100 remaining units. So, kunin lang natin to 4,100 times mo dun sa na-compute mo na weighted average unit cost. O, that will be the amount of the ending inventory pag average method periodic. Okay? Ang meron si business. So, klaro tayo dyan kung paano nakuha yan. Okay, ulitin natin, no? Nakuha yan by first getting the weighted average unit cost since average method ang ginagamit in determining the ending inventory balance. Okay? Then, i-times mo lang dun sa ilang units na tira. O, yun na yun. Yun ang amount ng ending inventory. Okay? Which is 153,882. Okay? Siyempre, round off yan. Now, The next question, paano kunin yung COGS under average method? Periodic. Okay? Simple lang. Apply lang natin ulit yung formula kanina. Okay po. So, beginning inventory. Tama ba? Copy na nga lang natin dito. Yan. Beginning inventory, wala namang pinagkaiba yan. 72,000. Net purchase, 359,620. So, if you notice, total goods available for sale, same lang din, 431,620. Ending inventory, o di, kung ano yung ending inventory as computed under average method periodic. So, whatever is the difference, that would be our cost of goods sold under average method periodic din. Okay, so klaro yun? Klaro tayo dyan, ha? Okay. So, ganun lang. Ganun na siya kasimple. Okay? Next! Eto na. Pag average method perpetual, ito yung medyo matrabaho. Kasi, at every purchase, take note ang perpetual kasi, no, ang monitoring niyan, on the dot. Okay, so, inventory is being updated from time to time. Okay? Now, in determining the cost of inventory at the end of the accounting period, no, using average method, tapos ang accounting inventory system, perpetual. In every purchase, okay, kailangan mag-update tayo ng weighted average unit cost. In every purchase, ha? In every purchase. Okay, so klaro yun. So, in every purchase, kailangan mag-compute ng weighted average unit cost. Tandaan. Okay? So, sir, paano yun? So, let's apply. Okay. So, beginning, 2,000. Tapos, unit cost, 36. Total, 72. So, pakita lang natin. 2,000, 36, 72. Okay. So, wala pa tayong gagawin kasi beginning pa lang naman na inventory yan. Ang sabi natin, ang weighted average unit cost pag perpetual, every purchase, no? Average method, syempre, of course. Every purchase, nag-update tayo ng average unit cost. So, ano bang susunod na transaction? August 7. Purchase yan. Okay, take note. That's the time na magkakaroon tayo ng computation ng weighted average unit cost. Kasi may purchase na nangyari. So, paano yun, sir? So, August 7, ang date. Ang units, 3,000. Tama po ba? Okay. Sorry. Excuse me. Ang cost, 37.2. Okay. Then, total amount, i-times mo lang respectively. Okay, 11,600. Okay. Every purchase, kailangan natin mag-compute ng average unit cost. So, total mo yung amount. Okay. Delete ko lang ito, class, para hindi kayo malito. Total the amount, 183,600. Okay, total the units, 5,000. So, paano kumpitin ng weighted average unit cost? The total amount, divide mo sa total units as of the moment. Okay, take note, ha. So, we have 36.72. That is the weighted average unit cost as of August 7 kasi merong purchase na nangyari noong August 7. Okay? So, next, sales. Okay, may sales. Tapos, may sales return. Okay, so, ineto na natin to, no? 4,200 minus 600, that would be 3,600. Tama po ba? So, mababawasan to, 3,600. Ineto na natin, Okay, 3,600. So, kailan yan? August 12. Nalilito ba kayo kung sakaling pagsamahin natin? Okay. So, August 12 and 13. Yan ay ginagawa lang natin kapag alam natin na yung connected na return is related dun sa previous sales. Ha? Pero for example, ang sales return ay nangyari on the other date. So, meron pa mga transactions na naganap, no, bago yung sales return connected dito sa August 12. Hindi applicable to, ha? Okay? Yung ginagawa nating shortcut, di applicable to. Since magkasunod lang naman sila, and I'm pretty sure connected din sa isa't isa, di ba? Tama? Kaya ginagawa natin to. Again, kapag ano yan, kunyari, klinaro niya dito ng sales return, hindi August 13, mga August 29, pero connected dun sa sales, nung 4,200, ibang usapan na yon. Magiging iba yung ano mo, approach mo niyan, computation mo niyan. Kumbaga, ang ginagawa natin as is, no, doon sa sequence ng date. Dapat naka-align tayo doon. Pero since magkasunod naman siya, and pretty sure nga tayo na yan ay related sa isa't isa, dahil first sales pa naman yan, di ba? Unang benta yan. So, nineto na natin agad. Okay? Pero ulitin na, kapag magkaiba na ng date yan, okay, tapos related dito sa August 12 na sales, okay, that will be a different computation. Okay? So anyway, 3,600. So in terms of units, ilan na natitira as of the moment? 1,400. Now, in terms of the total amount, ilan na natitira? Okay. Eh, ang tanong mo dyan, ano ba yung cost ng 3,600 na nabenta? Eh, di ito yun. Okay, kung ano yung latest na na-compute natin na weighted average unit cost. Ito yung cost niya. No? So, 36.72 times 3,600 units na neto, no, ng return. Basta connected siya doon at magkasunod ng date lang naman. Okay? That would be 132,192. Kita nga natin. Total ba to? Yun, hindi. Sakto pala. Okay? So, that is the cost, tama, of sales or cost of goods sold. Okay? Pero mamaya na yan. I-ano lang natin, highlight lang natin, ha? Yan. So, as of the moment, ilan ang natitirang inventory? So, apply mo lang ang formula respectively. Yun, 51,408. No? Katumbas yan ng 1,400 units. So, anong unit cost niyan? Yung pa rin, 36.72. Okay? Next, ano ang susunod na transaction? August 21, purchase ulit. So, take note, after this, kailangan natin mag-compute ng weighted average unit cost. So, apply natin. August 21. Tama ba? 4,800 na units. Tapos, ang unit cost, 38. So, iba na naman ang cost niyan. And the cost of that purchase, total amount, 182,400. So, again, we need to determine the weighted average unit cost after every purchase. After every purchase, hindi after every sales. Take note, dito sa sales transaction natin, kinuha lang natin yung weighted average unit cost, no, na nakumpit na natin previously. Pero hindi tayo nag-average costing dito, ha? Basta nag-average costing ka lang every after purchase. Okay? So, total units, 1,400, then 4,800, we have 6,200. Total amount related to that, 51,408 plus 182,400. That would be 233,808. So, average, 233,808 divide mo sa 6,200. Yan ba yun? Nagbutal na. Okay. 37,711. Okay, 37,711. Okay? Okay. So, nagkabutal to, Tama ba ang plus natin? Tama naman. Kaya naman tayo na miss. 4,600,36. So, I think tama naman, no? Pero gulat lang na butal to. Okay, pagkakatanda ko kasi dapat hindi. Pero anyway. So, since alam naman natin na no, tama naman yung approach natin. So, I think that is correct naman. Okay, correct. So, sige. Continue tayo. So, as of the moment, may 37.711 tayo na weighted average unit cost. O, may mangyayari ulit na bentahan. 3,800. Okay? So, 22 yan, no? August 22. Sales to, Okay? So, bawas yan. Okay? So, ilang units yun? 3,800. 3,800. O, anong unit cost ang gagamitin mo? Siyempre, yung weighted average unit cost. And the amount of that, okay, if you will times it respectively, multiply it, 143,302. Okay? So, August 22 sales yan. Tama po ba? Next, ito na, August 29. Okay? Sorry, computin muna natin yung balance. So, as of the moment, may 2,4. So, weighted average unit cost, 37.711 pa rin. Multiply, respectively. Okay? So, 90,506. So, next, the purchase. So, we have 1,900. Tapos, if you notice, on the next day, may return. So, ang gagawin na lang ni sir para shortcut nga, since connected naman sa isa't isa yan, okay? Pag neto ko na, this would be 1,7, di ba? Tama? At magkano ang cost? Pares lang naman sila ng cost, 38.6. Okay? Take note class, ang ginagawa ni sir na shortcut na yan, pinag-iisa, hindi yan applicable palagi depende sa situation yan. Parang katulad sa sales. So, it's better na by date ka talaga. Okay? Pero, sa akin kasi, sinorgat na natin since alam naman natin na related siya sa isa't isa. Okay? Pero hindi magiging applicable yan kung related siya sa isa't isa tapos hindi magkasunod ng date. Okay? Medyo iba na magiging computation mo nun dapat. Okay? So, okay, let's total. 2,400 plus 1,700 units. You have 4,100. Okay? Which is correct. Tama po ba? Yan ang balance natin as 2 units. No? Ending inventory as 2 units. So, total ng amount, 90,506 plus 65,620. The total amount of the related purchase ng August 29 slash 30 kasi may purchase return. 156,126. Get the average. 156,126 divide 4,100. Yun. 38,080. Butal ba to? Butal din. Okay? So, anyway. So, question. Magkano ending inventory mo? Okay? Under average method, perpetual. Ito na yun. As computed. Di ba? Ito na yun. Ending inventory. Tama po ba? Ito na yun. Correct? Okay. Tama? Kasi, again, kung gagamitin natin yung kaninang application dito sa periodic, kung ilan yung units, then ano yung weighted average unit cost, pinag-times mo ng, yun na yung amount ng ending inventory. Dito, ano ang latest natin na compute na weighted average unit cost? Kasi nga, moving to Which, that is 38,080. Times mo lang sa ending inventory balance. So, yun na yun. Yung ending inventory under average method using perpetual. Okay? So, let's apply the formula to get the cost of goods sold. Okay? Yung para pare-parehas lang din ng approach. Yeah. Tama. So, beginning, 72 pa rin. Net purchase, 359,620. So, total goods available for sale, 431,620. Ending inventory. So, as computed, ito yon. Cost of goods sold, 275,494. Okay, so, ganun lang siya class, no? Yung cost of goods sold, sumusunod lang naman. Lalo na kung na-compute mo na yung ending inventory, sumusunod na lang yan in terms of computation, di ba? Kasi the total goods available for sale will always be the same, di ba? Across the kung ano mang method ang gamitin mo sa costing mo ng inventory. Nagkakatalo lang kayo sa ending inventory. Depende sa method na gamitin. Then the cost of goods sold, mag-iiba din respectively. Okay? Now, if you will notice, okay, dapat parehas yan to Ito. Diba, ito yung inattach natin or nag-note tayo na COGS yan kasi yan yung benta. O yun. Ito class, pansinin nyo to, itong lower portion. 275,494, total nung dalawa. 132,192 plus 143,302, 275,494. O, ito din yun, 275,494. Okay? Cost of goods sold. Okay? So, ganun lang siya. Okay po? So, para mas klaro, isa pang illustration. Okay? Yan. Okay? This time, okay, same pa rin ng date, pero if you will notice, iba na yung mga units, iba din unit cost. So, yung total amount, hindi ka binigyan. So, ikaw bahala mag-compute. So, again, anong requirement? Ending inventory, okay, and the cost of goods sold under FIFO method, periodic, and perpetual. Eh, alam mo naman na FIFO method, mapa-periodic and perpetual, pares lang yan. Okay? So, isang bagsakang computation ka lang dyan. Now, pag average method, iba ang computation mo pagdating sa periodic at iba ang computation mo pagdating sa perpetual. Now, class, I want you to solve on your own, no? Stop mo muna tong video. Okay? Kung nandito ka pa, nakikinig, no? I hope so. Stop mo yan. Then, try mo compute. Okay? So, kung ready ka nang malaman yung sagot, saka mo i-play. Kasi papakita ni sir. So, again, if you want to try, stop. Then, later on, kapag may sagot ka na, i-check mo, compare mo sa magiging resulta. Okay, kung pares tayo. Okay? Okay. So, now, let's go with the answer. Okay? So, pakita natin. FIFO method, periodic, or perpetual, paparehas lang yan. So, alam na natin ng FIFO method, ha? So, ang una daw nating dapat gawin, yung units at the end of the accounting period, ilan ba ang natitira as to units? So, computein na natin ng mano-mano. Beginning, 400. So, take note of that. Purchase, 600. So, plus 1,000 yan, lalabas na units. Tama po ba? Sales ng August 16 minus 500. Okay? So, neto as of the moment, 500. Tama? 1,000 minus 500. So, 500. Plus purchase again na 300. So, 500 plus 300, 800. Minus 200, 600. Plus 400, okay? 1,000. Tama? Minus 400, 600. Correct? Okay, tama ba? Units ending 600. So, 4 plus 6, 1,000 minus 5, 500 plus 3, 800 minus 2, 600 plus 400, 1,000 minus 400, 600 ulit. So, tama tayo. 600 units ang natira. Now, ang tanong, saan natin huhugutin ng cost ng mga units na yon, no? Inventory units na yon. Eh, since FIFO method tayo, dun tayo sa most recent purchase. Okay? Pag hindi enough pa yung most recent purchase, edi yung susunod na most recent purchase. Yung susunod na recent purchase. Okay? Tas and so on and so forth. Pabalik tayo ng pabalik. Hanggat hindi pa na bubuo yung number of units na natira at the end of the accounting period or at the end of the month. Okay? So, alam natin na 600 na natira. So, yung August 29 purchase, 400 lang. Okay? So, out of 600, sure na tayo na 400 doon galing doon sa purchase ng August 29. Okay? Tama po ba? So, may 200 pa tayong hinahanap. Saan manggagaling yun? Siyempre, doon sa susunod na recent purchase, which is August 18. Okay? 300 tong na-purchase. So, kaya ba siyang, yung 200 na natitira, kaya niyang saluhin? Yes. Okay? So, dalawang purchase lang ang titignan natin, yung 29 tsaka yung 18. Pero take note, sa 18, 200 lang. Kasi yun na lang ang natitira out of 600. Nabukasan na ng 400 for August 29 purchase. So, pakita natin. So, ito ay 18. Tama po ba? Okay. Sa August 29. Okay. So, dito, sure ball na may 400 ka. Dapat 600 lalabas dito, no? Yan. 600 yan. So, na-exhaust na natin yung 400. So, natitira 200. Salong-salo naman siya ng purchase nung August 18 kasi 300 yan. So, tama. 200. Now, get the unit cost respectively sa August 18. Ang cost, 15. Sa August 29, ang cost 14. Okay? Okay. So, respectively times mo, ending inventory amount, yan na yun. 8,600. Tama po ba? Okay. So, yun na yun. So, I hope tumama ka rin, no? Beginning inventory. O, dito yon 400 times 10. That would be 4,000. Okay? 4,000. Net purchase. Okay. So, isa-isayin lang natin yung purchase. So, pakita na nga natin. 600 times 12. Tama po ba? Ito yon August 12 purchase. Ano pa yung purchase? 18. No, August 18. 300 times 15. So, 300 times 15. Tama po ba? Next na purchase, 400 times 14. 400 times 14. So, magkano ang total niyan lumalabas? 7,200 plus 4,500 plus 5,600. That would be 17,300. So, plus beginning pa. So, we have total goods available for sale, 21,300. Ending inventory, ito na yon 8,600. So, cost of goods sold mo, 12,700. Sorry. Nakalink kasi. So, tanggalan natin ang formula. Okay. So, 12,700. Klaro, class? Okay, I hope klaro yan, ha? Okay, so next tayo, average method, periodic. So, alam mo na, pag average, get the total amount, get the total units, divide accordingly to get the weighted average unit cost. So, beginning, dito na naman tayo, 400, syempre. Okay. Ang total amount niyan, nandito na yun, di ba? Ito na yun, 4,000. So, copy na lang natin. Okay. Units ng purchase during the month. So, you have 600, 300, 400. 600, 300, 400. Wala tayong ibabawas na net purchase kasi wala namang binanggit, no? So, magkano total purchase during the month? 1,300 in units, no? In terms of total amount, okay, nakumpit na natin yung kanina isa-isa, no? I believe this is 7,2. Tama? Ito, 300 times 15. Okay? So, meron tayong 4,500. Diba? 400 times 14. Total amount na kasi ito eh. 5,600. So, kano total niyan? 17,300. Tama tayo. Okay? So, the total units, no? Total goods available for sale na in units, 1,700. Total goods available for sale in peso, 21,300 pesos. Okay? So, 21,300 pesos, divide mo sa 1,700 units, that's how you will get the weighted average unit cost. And as computed, okay, that is 12.5294. Tama ba? 12.5294. Tingnan natin kung ano to. Butal siya eh. Okay lang. Okay? So, sa Excel, kaya ko siyang kunin, no? Lahat. Then, i-multiply lang natin dun sa kung ilan natitirang units at the end of the month. Okay, so that is 600. Tinimes mo lang sa weighted average unit cost. So, ending inventory mo, 7,518. Okay. So, ulitin ni sir, no? Kapag ganyan, tas sinabihan ka naman na kung ilang decimal point ang kukunin mo, then sundin mo yon para makita mo dun sa choices na lalabas yung sagot mo. Pero ito sa Excel kasi, kinuha na natin lahat. Tsaka hindi naman, wala namang ano eh, wala namang choices eh. Sinasagutan lang natin direkta. So, diretso na tayo. Okay? Kunin na natin lahat. Okay, begin inventory. Ito na naman yon. Ipakita lang natin. Copyhin na lang natin. Okay? Ending inventory, syempre kung ano yung nakuha natin, 7,518. Okay, yan yun, di ba? So, cost of goods sold, 13,782. Simple lang. Okay? Klaro yan? Okay, next. Average method perpetual. Okay, so apply mo na naman ulit. No? After every purchase, you need to get the weighted average unit cost. Then so on and so forth, mag-update yun. Hanggat merong purchase na nangyari during the period. Okay? So, beginning 400 to, units yan, syempre. Unit cost 10, total amount 4,000. That is August 1. Yun, may purchase na tayo, August 12. So, after this, kailangan tayo mag-compute ng weighted average unit cost, ha? So, 600 units. Unit cost niyan, 12, yung na-purchase na 600. So, respective total amount, 7,200. Total it, okay? Then, total the units also. Then, divide respectively. 11,200, divide mo sa 1,000, you have 11.2 as weighted average unit cost as of August 12. Next, sales, 500. Okay, August 16 yan, di ba? So, bawas yan. So, minus 500 tayo dito. Okay po. So, yun nga, tama. As of August 16, 500 na matitira. Okay? Ano ang cost nung nabentang 500? Eh di yung weighted average unit cost as computed previously. Tama? So, ang lumalabas na amount niyan, no, ang cost ng inventory na nabenta, 5,600. Okay? So, yung natitirang 500, ang unit cost din yan, or weighted average unit cost, 11.2. Okay? So, ano ang amount niya na natitira as of the moment? 5,600. Okay? Next. Ano susunod na date? August 18, purchase ulit. So, after this, kailangan mag-compute tayo ng weighted average unit cost. Okay? So, you have 500 na remaining plus 300. So, total units, 800. Okay? So, yung 300, anong unit cost niyan ng pagkabili niyan? 15. Okay? So, total amount would be 4,500. Okay? So, 5,600 kanina, no, as of August 16 na amount ng inventory na natira plus the purchase during August 21, 4,500. So, total, 10,100. Yung units, 800. O, gawin natin, compute the average. 10,100, divide mo sa 800. 12.625. Butal ba yan? Tingnan natin, ha. Ayun, buti na lang. Hindi. Okay? Next. Minsan kasi pag butal, akala mo mali ka na eh, no? Pero as long as tama yung ano mo, yung process mo, okay, walang problema kung butal. Eh, lalo na kung yun naman talaga yung given. Di ba? Pero si sir kasi kadalasan, pag nagbibigay ako ng problem, no? Usapang quiz ha, tsaka major exam. Madalang akong ano eh, uh, butal. Okay? Tapos kung butal, may hint na yan. Sasabihin ko na use 2 decimal point, no? In getting the answer. Okay, so ganun yan. Kumbaga, may hint ka na agad na butal yung mako-compute mo. Okay? So, next, August 22, tama po ba? Sales, 200. So, palitan natin to 200. O, magkano ang unit cost niyan? Siyempre, yung previous natin na weighted average unit cost. Benta yan eh. Okay? Respective na amount nung cost, amount nung inventory na benta, 2,525. Okay, so as of August 22, ang natitira, 600. Okay. In terms of amount, 7,575. Okay. Next, may purchase ulit. August 29. Okay. That is ilan? 400. Unit cost niyan, 14. Then, 5,600 yung purchase for that day. 7,575, yung dating balance, plus 5,600, you have 13,175. Okay. Delete natin yan. Total amount as of the moment. Okay? Ang units, 1,000. Okay, as of the moment. So, get the average, 13,175, divide mo sa 1,000, you have weighted average unit cost na 13.175. Ito yung pinaka-updated na weighted average unit cost. Okay? Sunod, ano nangyari? 30. Okay, August 30, nagkaroon ng bentahan. Okay, nangyari. Yun. Okay? So, August 30, nagkaroon ng bentahan. We don't need to compute additional or another weighted average unit cost kasi benta naman to, hindi naman to purchase. So, 400 minus 400 tayo dyan. So, tama, no? Ang units na natitira as of at the end of August, 600. Okay? Anong unit cost? Weighted average unit cost? Siyempre, kung ano yung previous. Benta naman to, so we will not update the weighted average unit cost. So, 13.175 times 400. Ang cost ng inventory na benta, 5,270. Okay? So, the difference, 13,175 minus 5,270, 7,905. O, tawag natin dito. Kasi wala nang susunod na transaction. Tawag natin diyan ending inventory. Tama ba? So, that would be the answer. Okay? Kung yan ang hinahanap, syempre. Okay po. 7,905 ending inventory. Cost of goods sold, syempre, apply mo lang. So again, may 4,000 tayong beginning. Net purchase, 7,300. Total goods available for sale, 21,300. Ending inventory, 7,905. Cost of goods sold, 13,395. Under average method, perpetual. O para double check mo lang, parehas ba dapat ng lalabas na cost of goods sold? Ito yung mga na-identify natin, no? Dapat parehas yan. Ayun, 13,395. Ito, nakikita ba ito, class? Nag-sum ko lang siya, 13,395. Parehas lang yan dito, 13,395. Okay? So, klaro yun? Klaro yun, class? Okay. So, yep. So, again, kung ano lang, medyo nalito lang, balikan mo lang yung video, no? For the solution. Balikan mo lang yan. Okay? So much for the costing method na pagdating sa inventory. Okay, dito na tayo sa last part ng topic natin na pass to inventory. Okay? Pass to requires that inventory shall be measured at cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. Ito yung mga pinagbabanggit natin last meeting, di ba? Initially at cost, tapos subsequently at cost or net realizable value. Okay, kasi pagdating sa reporting, kailangan yung makatotohanang amount ng inventory, no, ang ipe-present natin. So, we need to determine ano ba ang mas mababa in terms of dun sa pagkabili natin dati at doon sa tinatawag nating net realizable value. Yung cost kahit papaano, alam mo na yon. Anong nagpo-form part doon. Now, ano yung net realizable value? Sabi dito, is the estimated selling price in the ordinary course of business less the estimated cost of completion and estimated cost necessary to make the sale. Okay, so you have the sales price, minus mo lang yung mga pwedeng gastusin para mabenta yun. Okay? Or mga gagastusin para makumpleto yan at mabenta. So the difference of that is what we call net realizable value. Okay? The practice of writing inventories down below cost to the net realizable value is consistent with the view that the assets should not be carried in excess amount of expected to be realized from their sale or use. If you will notice if you will remember the conservatism principle, di ba? Syempre, ang gusto natin, yung asset natin, i-overstate mo natin o i-understate. Okay, parang ganun yan eh. So, in terms of reporting the inventory, dapat yung makatotohanan na ano natin na amount. Okay, so kung sakaling ang mas mababang NRV, net realizable value, kaysa dun sa dating amount ng pagkabili natin, which is the cost, di dapat sa presentation, yun ipakita natin. Okay, kasi pag, di ba, pag net realizable value, sinasabi mo, ito yung amount na pwede mong mabenta siya. Take note, mas mababa na siya sa cost. Okay? 'Di ba? Supposedly dapat mas mataas mo siyang mabenta kaysa sa cost eh. 'Di ba? Tama po ba? Lumalabas ang net realizable value niyan, okay, is mas mababa na this time. Okay? So dapat lang na i-present mo yung inventory doon sa amount na yun kasi siya na yung mas mababa. Kung hindi, mag-overstate tayo ng inventory niya. Okay? So tandaan yan ha. Kaya sinasabi natin subsequently, whichever is the lower. Sir, bakit ba nangyayari na ang net realizable value mas mababa? Okay? Sa totoong buhay class, Yun nga, ulitin natin, kung magkano mo nabiling inventory, hindi ka naman papayag na ibenta yan ng mas mababa dun sa pagkabili mo. So, normally, ang selling price na sineset mo dyan, mas mataas na di hamak, sabihin na natin, 50% above dun sa cost ng pagkabili mo. Tama po ba? Pero, paano nangyayari, sir, na yung NRV, kasi selling price yan, sabi mo, sir, minus the estimated selling cost, di ba? Kaya may NRV. Paano nangyayari yun, sir? That's the time siguro na ang inventory na yun, sabihin na natin na damage. Okay? So, para lang mabenta yan, okay? Kahit mas mababa dati sa pagkabili ni business, no? Kung magkano man yung amount ng pagkabili niya dati, ibebenta niya yan kahit mas mababa. And therefore, yung inventory na nabenta yun, na yun, or supposedly na mabebenta, okay, dapat i-report mo na ang cost nun, yung net realizable value na lang. Okay? Kasi lalabas, negative ka dyan. Okay? So anyway, methods of accounting for inventory write-down. Sabi dito, direct method, allowance method. Pag direct method, obviously, anong sabi niya dito? The inventory is recorded at the lower of cost or net realizable value. Okay, so klaro na tayo dyan. Any loss on the inventory write-down is not accounted for separately but buried in the cost of goods sold. Okay. So, direkta na siyang binawas, or should I say, direkta na siyang naka-account, okay, doon sa cost of goods sold. Okay? Kung tutuusin, ano yun lugi mo na yun, 'di ba? Cost mo 100 pesos. Pero since damage yan, sabihin natin, ang nakikita mo lang na net realizable value diyan 80. O so may lugi ka na 20. Okay? May lugi ka na 20. At expense mo 'yon. Okay? Pero in terms of classification, cost of goods sold ang kababagsakan nun kasi connected siya sa pagbenta ng inventory mo, Tama po ba? Okay, yun yung direct method. Diretso na nating nire-record yung difference na yon, yung 100 minus 80, di ba? Kasi 100 ang cost, NRV niya 80, so may 20 ka na lumalabas lugi. Okay? May 20 ka na lumalabas na lugi. Part na yun ng expense mo pero under cost of goods sold. Direkta na. Pag allowance method, sabi dito, the inventory is still recorded at cost and any loss on inventory write-down is accounted for separately. So, cost pa rin ang nasa record, no? Pero in terms of updating the amount, okay? Updating the amount, okay? Nagkakaroon tayo ng allowance, okay, for inventory write-down. Okay? Parang ano yan parang allowance for bad debts. Okay, so, para mas ma-appreciate, let's have example. Okay? Determine the amount of write-down, excuse me, and then provide adjusting entries. Then, how much is the total inventory to be reported? So, pakita natin. So, meron tayong product A. Tama po ba? Meron tayong product B. Dalawa yung product nila Okay. Determine the amount of write-down and provide adjusting entries. So, si product A, okay, ang cost niya, okay, we need to determine kung sino mas mababa, no? Ang cost ng product A, eto yon 100. Tama po ba? Plus 20. Bakit 20? Delivery cost yan it pertains dun sa class freight in. So, kasama yan in determining the cost of the inventory. So, 100 tsaka 20. Okay, take note ang binigay, the following unit costs are available for the inventory. So, unit cost to. So, price, etong mga amount na nakikita mo dito, kada isang inventory yan. Hindi pa to yung total amount. Okay? So, 100 plus 20, 120 kada isa. Ilan ba yung product A? Ilan units? 2,000. Okay, so, alam ko kung paano ko ma-present na mas maganda, no? So, si product A, meron tayong 120 na cost. Unit cost lang yan, ha? Okay? Per ano to, ha? Per unit. Ayan. Per unit. Okay. Next, si product B. Okay, ganun din. May purchase cost per unit na 200, then delivery cost na 30. So, 230 siya. Cost per unit, 230. Total. Okay? Next, NRV. Okay, estimated selling price minus yung estimated selling cost. So, 150 minus 22 for product A. 150 minus 22. Okay, so 128, no, per unit. NRV niya. Kay product B, 250 minus 40. Okay, selling cost kasi ito eh, di ba? NRV is minus the estimated cost of completion and estimated cost necessary to make the sale. Minus mo from the estimated selling price. Tama? So, 250 minus 40, no? Yan. So, 210. Okay. Now, class, bakit hindi pinansin yung general and admin expense? Pang ano naman yan, operating expenses, wala yan kinalaman sa pagbenta, no? Or pagbenta ng inventory, tama? Okay, so wala naman siyang kinalaman. That's why ignore natin yan. Now, ito yung pagko-compare natin. Kukumparahan natin, okay? Sino ang mas mababa? Okay, under product A, sino ang mas mababa? Yung cost niya o yung NRV niya? Yung cost niya. Okay? So, kumbaga lumalabas ang amount na pwede natin ibenta sa kada isang inventory ng product A, mas mataas pa kaysa dun sa cost niya. So, lumalabas wala kang inventory loss, no? Wala kang i-write down, no? Na difference between cost and NRV kasi nga ang mas mataas dito yung NRV, which is dapat normal talaga mas mataas yun. Okay? Wala kang i-account na loss on inventory write-down for product A. Okay? Tama po ba? Kay product B, meron. Bakit? Kasi yung cost, 230, tapos ini-estimate na lang siya na mabebenta ng 210. Okay? Tama? So, lumalabas, may difference na 20. Okay, yan yung tinatawag nating magiging allowance for inventory write-down. Okay? So, paano yun? Tandaan na, may direct method, may allowance method, pero mas ginagamit yung allowance method kasi. Okay, mas ginagamit yan. Okay? So, pakita natin. So, alam natin na 20 kada isang unit, no? Atong si product A, wala tayong problema dyan. Okay, so, ilang ano yon? Ilang units? Si product A, merong 2,000. Ito, merong 3,000. Now, yung difference, yan, times 20. Okay, yan. So, 60,000. Ito yung tinatawag nating allowance for inventory write-down. Okay? So, in terms of entry, ganito kasi yan eh. Okay, in terms of entry, kay product A, debit inventory ka dyan. Tama? Credit, sabihin na natin, AP or cash. Depende. Dati. Okay, nung pagkabili, no? So, magkano yun? That is 2,000 times 120. Kay product A yan, ha? Okay. So, okay na tayo dyan. Debit, credit na yan. Okay. Isayin na lang natin, class. So, debit, credit, 240,000. Okay? Okay? Kay product B, ganun din. Same approach lang din kung paano natin ginawa. In terms of recording ng purchase. So, you have cost na per unit, 230, tapos 3,000 yan. Okay? Tama? 690. Okay. So, since at the end of the accounting period, kailangan natin ma-determine anong mas mababa, yung cost or NRV. Okay, para makapag-recognize tayo ng adjustment. Okay? Dito sa product A, wala tayong problema kasi ang lower pa rin naman yung cost kaysa dun sa NRV. Ang problema yung kay product B dahil yung cost mas mataas na sa NRV. So, meaning, in terms of updating the measurement of inventory, dito tayo magbe-base sa NRV, 210. So, lumalabas may difference na 20 kada isa. So, paano mo i-record yung sinasabi nating inventory write-down na 60,000? Okay? So, ito yun. Dito, wala tayo. Wala tayo dyan. So, debit, loss on inventory write-down. Okay, loss on inventory write-down. Okay. Credit, allowance for okay, inventory write-down. Okay, tamad lang magsulat no? Okay, sige na nga. Ayan. Okay. Dito, kay product A, wala kasi yun nga, same pa rin naman. Ito, kailangan pa litawin natin na meron yan. Okay, so that would be 60,000. Okay? Tama po ba? Now, allowance method yan. From time to time, i-update mo yan. Ibabawas mo rin yan kasi sa cost of goods sold class. Na kung direct method yan, okay, kung direct method yan, ganito ang magiging approach niyan, class. Kung direct method, allowance to. Ito, direct method. Okay? So, anong approach natin dyan? Okay? Instead na credit allowance for inventory write-down ka, inventory ka na agad dito. Okay, tapos dito, cost of goods sold. Okay, 60,000. Okay? Tama po ba? Okay. Dito sa allowance method, itong allowance for inventory write-down, bawas din yan eh. Okay, bawas din yan sa cost of goods sold. Pag present na yung cost of goods sold, lalabas COGS, di ba? Tapos may kita ka dyang less. Okay? Inventory allowance for inventory write-down pa. Okay? So, yun. Ganyan mangyayari dyan. Okay? Whatever is the cost of goods sold, bawasan mo pa ng allowance for inventory write-down. Okay po? Klaro yan? Okay. So, ano na? Saan na tayo? Ayan. So, next, how much is the total inventory to be reported? O, the total inventory. Okay? Saan na ba yun? Ito. So, alam natin, no, kay, sino ba itong company? ABC. Meron siyang 240 for product A. Total inventory na eh. Plus, 690 kanina, no? Take note, 930,000 kasi yan. In total. Kung cost ang usapan. Pero take note, may write-down tayong gaganapin, no? Or mangyayari na amounting to 60,000, no? So, dapat bawas mo pa yan. Okay? 870,000. 870,000. That will be the total inventory to be reported. Okay? Tama po ba? Shortcut. In terms of reporting, alam mo naman na ang mas mababa between the two for product A, etong 120. So, meron ka ng sureball na 240. Alam mo naman na between the cost and NRV of the product B, okay, is 210. Times mo lang sa 3,000 yan. Shortcut yun, Tinan mo, 2,000 times 120, the lower. Then, 3,000 times 210, the lower. Okay. Plus mo lang. So, yun, 870. That is the total amount to be reported as inventory. Okay? Okay po? Okay. By the way, hindi to loss on inventory, no? It should be COGS. Ayan, COGS. Okay. Yeah. Mali pala yan. Dapat COGS yan. Hindi yan loss on inventory write-up. COGS ang ano natin yan, treatment. Okay? Kasi diretso din naman siya sa bawas ng COGS. Okay. Pero pagdating sa inventory, no, nagkakaroon tayo ng allowance. Contra asset, di ba? Allowance for inventory write-down. So, contra asset yan. Okay? So, kumbaga, pag present mo yan, since ang recording mo, ito pala yun. Yung kanina nabanggit natin COGS, mali yung kanina ha. Sorry. Kasi expense yun eh. Syempre kung may allowance yan, that would be contra asset. No? So, dapat, in effect, ano siya, kontra siya dun sa asset account. Hindi sa COGS kasi expense yun. Sorry for that kanina ha. Dapat inventory tayo dito. Okay? So, as recorded at cost, no? Lumalabas yan yon. Tama? Yan. Ari. Yan. Okay? Minus yung allowance kanina. Allowance for inventory write down. 60. Ayun. So, lumalabas NRV natin ng inventory. Yun. 870. So, ito yung papakita natin na amount niya as to statement of financial position or yung i-report nga natin. Okay? Yan. So, yun lang class ha. Pag allowance method, if you will notice, ang ginagamit, allowance for inventory write-down. Okay na account. Pero pag direct method, bawas agad sa inventory. Pero, yung difference, direkta na nating in-account under cost of goods sold. Okay? Kasi ganun din naman ang kapupuntahan nun eh. In terms of the write-down, dun din siya ibabawas eh. Okay? So, yan. Klaro tayo dyan? Okay, klaro tayo dyan? Okay, so para pumasok pa ulit, no? Isa pa. Okay. So this time, if you will notice, the same ano pa rin, illustration, pero the data different na. Para lang ma-practice mo, no? O, class, test it on your own, no? Stop mo yung video kung sa tingin mo kaya mo i-solve and makuha yung tamang sagot for this requirement. Number 1, determine the amount of write-down, provide adjusting entries, the inventory write-down, then how much is the total inventory to be reported. Okay, you may stop. Then if you have computed the answers, okay na yon. Then saka mo i-play. Papakita na ni sir. At eto na yon. So next, dito na tayo. Product A, product B. So you have units, 8,000. Product B, 12,000. Cost kada isa. Take note the following unit costs are available. So unit cost pa rin to. Okay? Yung data na nandito. Plus, pwedeng ibang maging approach niyan, no, appearance ng problem. Okay, for example, this time, ang pakita niya na dito total amount. No, huwag kayong mabibigla. Okay? Tinetest yung ano niya, analysis niyo diyan pag ganyan eh. Hindi ko ano yung in-illustrate na sir pag palaging ganun ang magiging ano niyo, sasagutan niyo. So, by concept, kailangan naiintindihan mo paano siya ginawa para hindi ka malilito kapag naging iba na yung appearance niya. No? O na different scenario ng problem. Basta naiintindihan mo yung concept, okay tayo doon. So, cost unit, no, ng product A, you have 40 and the freight in. Okay, additional cost yan. So, 50. Sulat natin. NRV, estimated selling price, 60 and 12 pesos. Freight out. So, that is a cost din para mabenta mo kasi nga, yan ay sagot mo, no, para yung inventory mapunta kay customer. Okay, so 60 minus 12, di ba? Okay, so 48. Okay, tanungin kita, sino mas mababa? Yung 48. So, alam mo na sa product A ni ABC, merong inventory write-down na mangyayari. Next, kay product B kaya, 100 tsaka 12 yung cost. 100 tsaka 12. 100 tsaka 20. So, may 120 ka dito. Tama po ba? NRV, meron kang 200 minus 40. Okay, kasi binabawas nga natin yan. 200 minus 40. Meron kang 160. Okay. So, meron ba tayong inventory write-down? Wala. Kasi yung NRV natin, mas mataas dun sa cost, na normally naman talagang dapat ganun. Okay? So, wala kang inventory write-down dyan. Kanino tayo may inventory write-down? Yun, kay product A. Kasi, ang NRV mas mababa dun sa cost. Okay? So, computein lang natin. This should be Y. Okay, Y. Okay. So, the difference, no, is 2 pesos kada isang units. Eh, ilang units ba ang product A? No, 24, 8,000. Okay? So, 2 pesos times mo dun sa 8,000, no, units, 2 pesos na difference times mo sa 8,000, yan yung inventory write-down natin, 16,000. Okay? 16,000. No, para mas ma-appreciate, let's apply. So, pag product A, pag nag-purchase yan, so cost tayo, di ba? Initially yan eh. Times 50. So, 400. Kay product B, ganun din. 12,000 times 120. Tama? Cost pa rin tayo eh. 1,440. Now, in terms of reporting, kailangan sundin natin kung sino mas mababa between the cost and the NRV. So, si product A, alam natin na mas mababa yung NRV niya. So, magkakaroon nga tayo ng inventory write-down. Okay? And as computed, eto na yon. Tama po ba? Kay product B, wala tayong inventory write-down kasi nga, mas mataas naman yung cost. Mas mataas naman yung NRV kaysa sa cost. Normal siya, kumbaga. Okay? So, take note, pag debit cost of goods sold and credit allowance for inventory write-down, allowance method ang ginagamit. Okay? Now, pero pag ang approach, okay, cost of goods sold, debit, tas credit agad, direct, bawas agad sa inventory, 16,000. Direct method ang ginagamit mo doon. Kay product B, wala tayong adjustment. Okay? So, total inventory to be reported, okay? So, 400 plus 1,440 minus 16,000. 1,824. Okay, so another approach, ito yon, inventory, total ng pagkabili at cost yan, product A, product B. Okay, less allowance for inventory write-down, magkano daw? 16,000 as computed. 1,824 din. Okay, so yun lang din kanina sa baba. Okay, so yun na yung class. Klaro tayo dyan? Klaro tayo dyan? Okay. So, next, disclosure of inventories. So, ito, more on familiarization lang kung ano yung mga dapat na i-disclose related sa inventory. So, you have the accounting policies adopted, including daw yung cost formula. So, kung periodic or perpetual, tas in terms of cost formula, FIFO method, weighted average, or specific identification method. Total carrying amount of inventories and the carrying amount in classification appropriate to the entity. The amount of inventories recognized as an expense during the period. Okay. Impairment losses. Okay. So, recognize or reverse in profit or loss in accordance with Section 27, Impairment of Assets. Okay. Tsaka nyo muna intindihin yung impairment na yan, no? Pag nandun na tayo. I don't think masakop natin ang past 27. Tama ba ako? Past 27 ba? Sorry. With Section 27 pala, Impairment of Assets. Okay, so, impairment, it's more on yung parang gradual decline sa value niya. Okay? Yung biglang bagsak. Okay? Katulad sa lupa, for example. So, sa inventory, nangyayari din yun, no? Lalo na kung may problema in terms of the economy. Okay? Yan. Or kaya may problema pagdating sa mismong industry kung saan nakabilong yung business. Tapos ang inventory niya related doon. Okay? So, may impair yan. Okay? Biglaan. Okay? Kahit sabihin na natin ang inventory, good naman. hindi naman siya damage. So, may mga ganong indication. Okay? So, kung may ganun nga, may ganung mga indication, kailangan i-disclose yan. Total carrying amount of inventories, pledge as security for liability. So, pwede rin kasing maging collateral tong inventories, no? Para ang business makautang sa mga financial institution katulad ng bangko. And kung meron man, no, na nautang, tapos part of the inventories na pledge doon para sa utang na yun, kailangan i-disclose yun. Okay? Nakalagay sa notes to financial statements. So, yun lang class. Tapos na tayo sa past due inventories. And thank you.